Remember that massive apartment building fire off of Leetsdale? Well, we were told the investigation might take months. This morning, though, after only 2 weeks, a man is in custody and accused of arson. Our Courtney Yoon is following the story this morning, joining us live near Leetsdale in Alameda. And Courtney, this arrest would not have happened without a lot of surveillance video from the area.
Yes, that's right, Corey. A lot of surveillance footage that they were able to find in order to find this suspected arsonist, and also a lot of damage here left at the scene. Take a look. I'm going to have our photographer Alex Dickey show you all the damage that was left behind here 2 weeks later, and we're still smelling smoke here at the scene. Denver Fire says security footage in several areas tracked 38-year-old Tony Becerra's movements over the course of 2 hours, including after the fire and before. Several security camera images are included in Becerra's arrest affidavit. Take a look at this. He's seen on video going into the Harker Heights apartment complex at around 6:30 p.m. on January 2nd and leaving around 6:34. That's just 3 minutes before smoke and fire could be seen. Becerra has been arrested in connection to the fire of the 283-unit apartment building that was supposed to open up in May. After leaving the building, investigators say they tracked him as he walked to a nearby restaurant. 9 News obtained this video of him entering and leaving. Images taken inside the business were uploaded to a facial recognition program, which investigators use to identify him. Security cameras on the street and businesses and on a bus were all used to track his movements. One image shows Becerra going to a gas station before 5:30, stopping to fill something up inside of a bag at a gas pump. Fire forensics expert Randolph Harris has investigated more than 3,000 fires. He didn't work on this one, but says cases like this are uncommon.
Arson fires, if you could find a sample inside with gasoline in it, that somebody spread gasoline around, that's about the best evidence you could have. But, you know, surveillance video, seeing somebody go in and then go out and then the fire's going, that would be pretty good evidence also.
Firefighters worked for days on this fire after it started, and crews dumped more than 18 million gallons of water on it, according to Denver Fire. The department says formal charges for Becerra will be filed soon after the official case filing is finished. Live in Denver, Courtney Yoon, 9 News.
All right, thank you, Courtney. Meanwhile, 5 people are out of a home this morning after a fire broke out in their basement. This happened in Aurora around 10 o'clock last night near East Dartmouth Avenue and South Chambers Road. When crews got there, they saw smoke coming from a basement bedroom. 2 adults and 3 kids all made it out safely. None of them were hurt. The Red Cross is helping them this morning. Fire officials say it was sparked by an electrical issue, and they want to remind people to avoid overloading your outlets. Always replace your damaged cords and pay attention to things like warm outlets or flickering lights.
A father keeping vigil at his newborn daughter's bedside became the victim of a crime. He says thieves broke into his car in the parking lot of Children's Hospital in Aurora while his daughter was recovering from open heart surgery. His daughter was born about 4 weeks ago and had open heart surgery at just 4 days old. After going home, she developed a serious infection and had to go back to the hospital. While her dad sat at her bedside Friday night, he says thieves broke into his car, stealing and damaging equipment that he uses to run his media production business.
I'm not thinking about that when I'm thinking about, is my daughter going to survive this surgery?
Despite the setbacks, he is still documenting his daughter's journey on video to prove that difficult times don't last and how strong she's been through it all. In just a couple of hours, Governor Polis will deliver his final State of the State address.
Our partners at the Denver Gazette have put together a preview for us. Now, big priority for the state this year is housing. That includes a plan to let you effectively treat accessory dwelling units as their own piece of property. And there's also the Home Act, which removes barriers to building houses near transit and businesses. It would also let schools or community organizations build houses on their property. And the governor also talked about addressing Colorado competency laws. As it stands right now, people who are declared incompetent to stand trial have to have their charges dropped. Those people are often released and sometimes go out and commit even more crimes. Fixing the state budget will also be a challenge here in 2026. There's been a lot of belt tightening over the past year.
The Colorado Court of Appeals seemed like they are leaning towards upholding Tina Peters' conviction, but the judges this week seem like they will reconsider the length of her prison sentence. The former Mesa County clerk is serving a 9-year sentence for her role in allowing unauthorized access to her county's election voting equipment in search of evidence to support President Trump's false claims of election rigging. On Wednesday, Peters' legal team attempted to convince the appeals court to overturn her conviction. The 3-judge panel signaled that they believe her sentence was at least is 15 months too long. They pointed out that in one of the counts, the jurors may have convicted Peters of a felony instead of a misdemeanor because of one-word error in the charge's description.
I'm confused as to why the people are continuing to maintain that the proper remedy on this isn't to enter the conviction for the misdemeanor.
It was one word, might, and it was already.
Yeah, but that one word distinguishes it from a felony to a misdemeanor.
And in this case, made an extra sentence, 15 more months in the Department of Corrections that couldn't have been given had it been a misdemeanor conviction.
The appeals court also raised questions about whether the trial judge who sentenced Peter gave her extra time because she berated him at sentencing about her election rigging conspiracy theories. The appeals judges pointed out that speech was her constitutional right. State regulators say they have now gotten about 600 complaints about people having car trouble after filling up at more than 50 gas stations. This problem now stretches from the Denver metro area to Colorado Springs, Breckenridge, and even Wyoming. Last Wednesday and Thursday, those stations got deliveries of regular unleaded fuel contaminated with diesel. The mix-up happened at an HF Sinclair gas terminal. These stations have since gotten rid of the contaminated fuel. The state says its investigation into this could take a couple of weeks, but if you have to pay for repairs, you're supposed to go back to the gas station where you bought the fuel to file the claim. Some of you, though, have been telling us that you've been turned away when you tried.
Some of these smaller mom and pop shops who have never had to deal with a claims issue likely don't know the process. And that is what our division, in conjunction with Sinclair, hope to reach out to the owners who we do know were impacted and those who do not even know they were impacted, and make sure they understand what to expect and to ensure they know they need to receive these complaints from consumers. And the consumers, again, need to let us know.
You can find a list of gas stations that received that bad gas on 9news.com. The state says all tanks that once held contaminated gas have been pumped out and cleaned, and they're now safe to fill up.